Welcome to this daily PBJ devotional. Read Genesis 7, Ezra 7, and Proverbs 1 through 19. This devotional is about Ezra 7. Many years later, during the reign of Artaxerxes, king of Persia, Ezra, son of Sariah, the son of Azariah, the son of Hilkiah, the son of Shallum, the son of Zadok, the son of Ahitub, the son of Amariah, the son of Azariah, the son of Meraioth, the son of Zariah, the son of Uzzi, the son of Buki, the son of Abishua, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the chief priest. This Ezra came up from Babylon. He was a scribe skilled in the law of Moses, which the Lord, the God of Israel, had given. The king granted Ezra all his requests, for the hand of the Lord his God was upon him. So in the 7th year of King Artaxerxes, he went up to Jerusalem with some of the Israelites, including priests, Levites, singers, gatekeepers, and temple servants. Ezra arrived in Jerusalem in the 5th month of the 7th year of the king. He had begun the journey from Babylon on the 1st day of the 1st month, and he arrived in Jerusalem on the 1st day of the 5th month, for the gracious hand of his God was upon him. For Ezra had set his heart to study the law of the Lord, to practice it, and to teach its statutes and ordinances in Israel. This is the text of the letter King Artaxerxes had given to Ezra the priest and scribe, an expert in the commandments and statutes of the Lord to Israel. Artaxerxes, king of kings, to Ezra the priest, the scribe of the law of the God of heaven, greetings. I hereby decree that any volunteers among the Israelites in my kingdom, including the priests and Levites, may go up with you to Jerusalem. You are sent by the king and his 7 counselors to evaluate Judah and Jerusalem according to the law of your God, which is in your hand. Moreover, you are to take with you the silver and gold that the king and his counselors have freely offered to the God of Israel, whose dwelling is in Jerusalem, together with all the silver and gold you may find in all the province of Babylon, as well as the free will offerings of the people and priests to the house of their God in Jerusalem. With this money, therefore, you are to buy as many bulls, rams, and lambs as needed, together with their grain offerings and drink offerings, and offer them on the altar at the house of your God in Jerusalem. You and your brothers may do whatever seems best with the rest of the silver and gold, according to the will of your God. You must deliver to the God of Jerusalem all the articles given to you for the service of the house of your God. And if anything else is needed for the house of your God that you may have occasion to supply, you may pay for it from the royal treasury. I, King Artaxerxes, decree to all the treasurers west of the Euphrates, whatever Ezra the priest, the scribe of the law of the God of heaven, may require of you, it must be provided promptly, up to 100 talents of silver, 100 cores of wheat, 100 baths of wine, 100 baths of olive oil, and salt without limit. Whatever is commanded by the God of heaven must be done diligently for his house. For why should wrath fall on the realm of the king and his sons? And be advised that you have no authority to impose tribute, duty, or toll on any of the priests, Levites, singers, doorkeepers, temple servants, or other servants of this house of God. And you, Ezra, according to the wisdom of your God which you possess, are to appoint magistrates and judges to judge all the people west of the Euphrates, all who know the laws of your God. And you are to teach these laws to anyone who does not know them. If anyone does not keep the law of your God and the law of the king, let a strict judgment be executed against him, whether death, banishment, confiscation of property, or imprisonment. Blessed be the Lord, the God of our fathers, who has put into the heart of the king to so honor the house of the Lord in Jerusalem, and who has shown me favor before the king, his counselors, and all his powerful officials. And because the hand of the Lord my God was upon me, I took courage and gathered the leaders of Israel to return with me. This is God's word. Isn't it interesting that this book of the Bible is named after someone who doesn't appear until chapter 7? And the book of Ezra only has 10 chapters. So the man Ezra is silent and absent from most of it. And yet, it is fitting that this book is named after Ezra because Ezra, we will see, was given by God to be a key spiritual leader for Israel. Verses 1 through 5 told us that Ezra had the human pedigree needed to hold the office of priest. You can see also verse 11, which says Ezra the priest. This was important because of God's commands about the office of priest. But one could be humanly qualified to be a priest without actually being a true spiritual leader. Eli's sons, for example, from a different era, but they're an example of this. They had the human qualifications, but spiritually, they were nowhere near what they should have been to be spiritual leaders. So, what made Ezra special? Well, the grace of God, of course, but in keeping with that grace, Ezra prepared himself. Before he showed up in Jerusalem to be a spiritual leader in Israel, he was a teacher well versed in the law of Moses, which the Lord, the God of Israel, had given. That's what verse 6b says in the NIV. Ezra prepared to teach God's word before he showed up to serve as a leader of God's people. That preparation is elaborated on in verse 10. How did he become the man, verse 6 says, was well-versed in the law of Moses? Well, according to verse 10a, it's because Ezra had devoted himself to study the law of the Lord. Again, that's the NIV's rendering of verse 10a. The point is that Ezra put in the time. He was in the word himself first before he tried to teach the word or live out the word or lead the word for anyone else. But that's not all, though, because verse 10 goes on to say that Ezra had devoted himself to the observance of the law of the Lord. That means he obeyed it himself. After he learned what God's word said, Ezra abided by it in the way that he lived his life. Only then did he devote himself to what verse 10c in the NIV says, these words, to teaching its decrees and laws in Israel. And this is the pattern that any and every one of us who leads spiritually must follow. We must be in the word personally, applying it personally, and obeying it personally before we try to teach it to others. If we try to teach without study, we will lead people into error and false doctrine. If we study without application to ourselves, we'll be exposed as hypocrites because we're teaching one thing and living something else. And that creates a crisis of credibility for ourselves and causes some who follow us to stumble. Are you an elder in our church? Are you a deacon or a deaconess? Are you a teacher of God's word, an Awana leader, a parent? Almost everyone is leading someone spiritually in some way. May the Lord use Ezra's method of preparation for leadership to call us to prepare well before we speak God's name. If you like these devotionals, consider signing up to receive them in your email every day. Go to dailypbj.com/subscribe and enter your email address in the box, and every day, for free, you'll receive an email from me with the links to the video, audio, and a transcript of these devotionals, as well as links to the scripture passages to read for that day, and that may help you be in God's Word every single day and develop a daily Bible reading habit so that you can walk with God. Would you consider becoming part of my financial support network? The costs for me doing this and the time that I spend in it is considerable. And so if you'd consider helping in that way, please go to dailypbj.com/support for more information. Please share this with someone who might be encouraged in their own walk with God, and I'll see you next time. May God bless you. I hope you have a great day today.